in this video, I want to talk to you about reporting services. So how many reports do you have out there, and what are you doing to monitor those reports? If you're like me, you've got a bunch of them out there, and what we want to do is we want to be proactive, and we want to know about report execution failures ahead of time, ahead of a user putting in a ticket, somebody complaining about it. So how do we do that? So I just want to show you one simple approach to this. So if we're on a report server, you'll notice that there are a few views here, the most recent being execution log 3, that'll give you the details of all the report executions that are happening on your report server. Now, how can we set something up to alert us of failures and only get alerted one time for each failure? So what I want to do is I want to take a look at this view. So I'll open this up here, and you've probably seen this before. Hopefully you've seen this before. You got a bunch of different attributes here that tell you about those failures. There's one very important column that's missing here in order for us to set up a process that will alert us to a failure and alert us only one time. And that's the key on this table down here. If we scroll down, the execution log storage table. Let me expand that table for you. It's here. The log entry ID. We need that attribute, that column there, in order to log the executions and only alert one time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a view. We'll call it extended, and we'll go ahead and we'll add this key value in. Okay, so now I've got a new view. Okay, and here it is. And there's the key value, which is what we want. So I've got a script here, and we'll walk through this real quick. We'll go ahead and we'll create that log table here. So now let's take a look and see what we have. Okay, here's our log table. Okay, it's a really simple, straightforward table. Now what I want to do is I want to create a procedure that I can call as many times as I want, as often as I want. And this procedure, what it'll do is it'll check for failed report executions within a certain window. If it finds anything, it'll log it in this table and it'll return it. Okay, so this procedure has a few parameters here. The first one is what mail profile do we want to use? The procedure is going to use database mail, so that has to be set up. We have to have an operator that we can email to, and how many hours do we want to look back? So we could set this for, say, like look within the last 5 hours or 10 hours or whatever you want to set that to. So the procedure will do a little bit of checking to make sure that the profile you specify is valid, make sure the operator you specify is valid. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to look in this new view that we created with that new key value, and it's going to look for anything where the status of the execution is not success within the time frame that we specify. And this is the important clause here. It's going to exclude anything that's already been logged, so that way we only get notified one time. And then if we have any failures within the specified time frame, it'll go ahead, it'll add those to, and this is a transaction, so we're going to get all of it or none of it. It'll go ahead, it'll insert into the log, and then it'll email the operator about that failure. Okay, and simple catch statement, and if there's anything open, any transaction open, it'll roll it back. Make sure we clean up that temporary table. You can add any other login in here that you would normally, and then it'll throw the error. So we'll go ahead and let's create that procedure. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to look back. I don't know if I have any failures within the last 10 hours. Let's see what happens here. We'll go ahead, and this is what you would do is you would create an agent job, and you would put this statement in here inside that job as a step, and then set that job to run, say, maybe every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes, short enough time increments that you could be proactive so that you would get the alert before the user puts in the help desk ticket. So we'll go ahead and create that, execute that. So we did get 3 things logged, 3 errors logged, and you can see that an email is queued up so that the admin operator will get that alert. And then we'll just take a look at those 3 that are in here in the log. So I know I went through that pretty quickly. I'll make sure I post the code for you to look at. But this is a quick, easy, simple way to create an alert on your report server to make sure that you get notified of any report execution failures.